Hi there, welcome back to your favorite deep dive show on stories contemporary and consequential for India. Incidentally, this is completion of 1 year of Get Me Right. This week, I picked three. One, a recap of how Bangladesh has turned into a bastion for anti-India forces since the government of Sheikh Hasina was deposed this same week last year, and how India has responded. Two, in the age of AI, artificial intelligence, which jobs are safe and which would vanish soon. Information that would forewarn to forearm. And finally, the logic behind Donald Trump's going after India. Why has the American president taken his gloves off against us? Is it frustration or something more? Let's get going. A US Navy F-35 jet crashed near the Lemoore Air Force Station in Kings County, California, Thursday morning. You might wonder, what's the connection with a crashed American F-35 and Trump's tariff war on India? Let me explain. Another F-35 was the center of a meme fest in India when one belonging to the British Royal Air Force made an emergency landing last month in Thiruvananthapuram of Kerala and got stuck there. Both the British and the Americans struggled for a month before the bird could fly back last week. The fighter jet is a showpiece of cutting-edge American war machine, and a mystic of invincibility has been created around the platform. US President Donald Trump had made an offer for the same to Prime Minister Modi during his February visit to Washington, D.C. India said we would look into it, which basically means a polite no in typical Indian bureaucracies. The two instances quoted above prove India was right. Trump obviously did not like it. Having offshored much of their manufacturing to China over the last 4 decades, America pretty much has only two sectors left to tom-tom and export: agriculture and defense. After all, how many apples you can export? So obviously, defense and connected military-industrial complex become the biggest trade chip for Donald Trump to push, possessed as he is with correcting the trade imbalance with the rest of the world. In the month of May, 2 US Navy fighter jets, FA-18 Hornets, fell off the aircraft carriers they were on while deployed in the Red Sea in a span of just 8 days. On the civil aviation side, there have been 60 deadly air crashes in the United States till the month of May alone, leading to the death of 188 persons. The big one was in Washington, D.C., where a military helicopter collided with a descending passenger airliner, killing all 64 on board. 2025 is proving to be the worst year in terms of aviation safety in the United States of America. The point I'm making is that America is a nation under stress. This might sound like pop sociology, but this high rate of air accidents is evidence of fraying nerves of the American society. It is dealing with a China breathing down its neck and struggling with a multipolar world that is increasingly slipping out of its control. It is in this backdrop that Donald Trump is waging his tariff war. His fusillade against India on Thursday seemed very personal. 4 times he railed against us in a single working day. Twice through his Truth Social posts and twice during his press engagements.
India is preparing to face higher U.S. tariffs between 20 and 25%. Is that what you're tracking, or what do you think the rate will be for India?
They are going to pay 25%.
Yeah.
He is riled that India is not opening up its agriculture and dairy sector. He's annoyed that we continue to buy oil from wherever we get it cheap, including Russia. He's mighty angry that India politely yet firmly refused to make a big, beautiful order of the meme-fested F-35s that he offered to us in February. Trump's frustrations are many. The entire edifice of his campaign last year was built on his promise to end the Europe war on his first day in office. It is 190 days plus now.
I will end the war in Ukraine. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III from happening. And you have no idea how close we are.
If anything, the Europe war has intensified. In earlier episodes, we have captured how Trump has swung from calling Putin a reasonable friend to a knee-jerk, I hate him. And it's not just Putin of Russia. Despite all the insults heaped on him at the White House, Zelensky of Ukraine has proved to be a tough nut as well. He escalated his war a month ago on the eve of a Trump phone call with Putin, sending a message Trump could only control a White House roast, not the war on the ground. Donald Trump first announced with some bluster a high tariff of 130% on China. The figure now languishes somewhere between 15 and 30%, with no clarity on whether Xi Jinping would oblige by not retaliating. Trump has been cowering since and seeking a summit with the Chinese dictator. In an example of how brainless the tariff war is turning out to be, Brazil has been slapped 50 to 90% tariffs despite the United States having a trade surplus with them. Coming back to India, the Thursday tantrum came despite trade deal talks still on between both the sides. The timing perhaps something to do with the Operation Sindoor debate in Parliament.
There is no linkage of trade. There was no linkage of trade in any of those conversations. And there was no cost between Prime Minister and President Trump.
The fact that both Prime Minister Modi and External Affairs Minister Jaishankar made it amply clear that nobody had any role in the India-Pakistan ceasefire must have riled the American president, who has made it the leitmotif of his life to claim credit for stopping the standoff in South Asia. Trump seems hell-bent on rocking the boat of India-US ties. The hesitations of history are returning with a sense of déjà vu. Like Kennedy and Dean Rusk tried to take India in a pincer over China, or Nixon-Kissinger pivoted to Pakistan for their larger Beijing policy. So it seems Trump is now falling over Pakistan, frustrated by India's refusal to play his game. Trump is forcing India to take a side, something India has not done historically since 1947. We have withstood tremendous pressures, including from the Americans, and in much dire times, when we lived from ship to mouth for food, when we had not enough to feed and clothe our population. So it's unlikely it is going to happen at this stage, when we are the fourth largest economy and raring to go as a nation and society. Those who know Prime Minister Modi know that he shines when the tide is against him. That the last thing you can get out of him is to make him compromise under pressure. Trump's going bonkers is just an expression of that realization. Ultimately, it is for America to decide. After having sucked with a straw $30 billion and more over the last 2 decades alone for providing its services in Afghanistan, if Pakistan could still harbor Osama bin Laden, if after overseeing so many American soldiers getting killed in the Afghan theater with double games that it played with Taliban, Pakistan can still harbor maximum number of UN-designated terror organizations and still get a helping hand from the United States. God bless America. We can take care of ourselves. Moving on to the next one. This coming week marks 1 year of the July uprising, as it is called in Bangladesh, which led to the downfall of the democratically elected Sheikh Hasina government and the plunking of American-backed regime of Muhammad Yunus in Dhaka, a government that has become a national security challenge for New Delhi, a government that is viscerally anti-India, a government that is peopled with those who fancy breaking up of India for a greater Bangladesh. those who think that India's northeast is dependent on them for its survival. What seemed like an organic student protest to begin with turned out to be a coup, a well-planned conspiracy using the facade of students. Just to jog the memory, listen to Yunus in his own words.
He is known as to be the brain behind the whole revolution. So he denies it repeatedly. He said, not me, many others. But that's how he's recognized, that he's the brain behind the whole thing.
This was in New York, where Yunus was genuflecting before his benefactors. Now let's listen to one of his statements over the last year, which reflects his true mind on India.
7 states of India, eastern part of India, called 7 Sisters. They are landlocked country, landlocked region of India. They have no way to reach out to the ocean. We are the only guardian of the ocean.
His advisor, Mahfouz Alam, in a now deleted Facebook post, called for the annexing of parts of India's northeast to form Greater Bangladesh. Yunus has followed his anti-India mindset with actions. Just a look at the list of those he has got released from jails. Jashimuddin Rahmani, head of Al-Qaeda affiliate Ansarul Bangla team, or ABT, was released in the first month of the coup itself. He was convicted of various crimes detrimental to peace and security of Bangladesh, and since his release has spewed venom against India, including talking of training jihadis for Jammu and Kashmir and Khalistan. Then there is Ikramul Haq, alias Abu Talha, also of ABT. He escaped from a high-security prison in Dhaka on the first day of the unrest. He was self-styled India operations head of ABT and was arrested for planning terror modules in India's northeast in coordination with the Lashkar-e-Taiba. He has not been rearrested since his escape. The Yunus regime also let go of Lutfuzzama Babar, a BNP politician who was on death row in connection with the Chittagong Armory case, in which 10 trucks carrying arms whole for the northeast insurgents affiliated to ULFA were intercepted in 2004. Babar was junior home minister in the then Khaleda government and was suspected of facilitating the arms transfer in cahoots with ISI of Pakistan. Another BNP leader, Abdus Salam Pintu, known for harboring Pakistan-based Harkatul Jihad-e-Islami terrorists active in Kashmir and helping them train in Bangladesh, was also released in February this year. Pintu was involved in terror financing and radicalization of youth in Bangladesh. The man wanted to bleed India, and Yunus set him free. Extremists are thriving. Anti-India elements are stronger than ever in Bangladesh. This was a fear with security agencies. It has come true substantially. A Pakistan-trained terrorist, Javed Munshi, was apprehended from India-Bangladesh border in Assam while trying to infiltrate as part of a larger design to organize sleeper cells across India's east and northeast. This has been a pattern. Islamist elements have got a new lease of life. It is tragic that Indian blood and arms went into the making of Bangladesh, and all has been forgotten. The new set of politicians in power and rewriting the 1972 Constitution, which might be revealed on August 5. The legacy of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman has been scrubbed clean, including destruction of his multiple residences and museums.
শুকরিয়া ধন্যবাদ ছাত্র এবং ছাত্রী ভাই বোনদেরকে স্পেশাল থ্যাঙ্কস আপনারা দেখতে পাচ্ছেন আমি গণভবনের ভিতরে
Just last month, the ancestral home of Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore in Sirajganj district of Bangladesh was vandalized by a mob. Yunus has lifted ban on the Jamaat-e-Islami. This is the same Jamaat which had opposed tooth and nail Bangladesh's independence from Pakistan. Jamaat cadres had fought alongside Pakistan army soldiers, butchering, maiming, raping, and killing fellow citizens. Now they control the government, substantially if not fully. Hizb ut-Tahrir, an Al-Qaeda affiliate organization banned around the world, including in Bangladesh, had the temerity to hold a massive public rally for caliphate in March this year. Nasimul Ghani, one of the founders of HUT in Bangladesh, was even appointed Home Secretary, thus exposing the full collusion between Yunus and anti-India forces. And then there is the issue of targeting of minorities, specifically the Hindus. Last 1 year has seen atrocious violations of their human rights. According to the Bangladesh Buddhist Hindu Christian Unity Council, an umbrella minorities organization, in the first fortnight alone, over 2,000 incidents of targeting of Hindus took place, including desecration of 69 temples. ISKCON leader Chinmoy Krishna Prabhu Das remains incarcerated in jail for over 8 months now. Mamunul Haq, leader of Hefazat-e-Islam, an amalgam of Islamist forces, asked Hindus to be deported from Bangladesh just this week. And last week, while Pakistan's Home Minister was visiting Dhaka, Bangladesh decided to allow those Pakistanis holding diplomatic and official passports visa-free entry. Obviously, that includes all army officers and ISI operatives. In fact, ISI Chief General Asim Malik, who's now Pakistan's NSA also, visited Dhaka in January this year, and reports suggest groundwork was laid to activate ISI presence in Bangladesh's border areas with India, particularly with the northeast. It's a grim picture. These are images from this week of a plane crash in Dhaka. The military plane crash-landed into a college building, resulting in the death of 19 and hundreds injured. As Bangladeshi authorities scrambled, it became clear they were not up to the task of handling the crisis, particularly on the medical front, with those injured suffering severe burns. India immediately came into action like a good neighbor and a first responder in any time of crisis. We sent in a team of doctors with supplies to assist the injured in Dhaka. You know why this narration is important? India came to the rescue of citizens of Bangladesh in their time of distress, despite a rabid anti-India sentiment being spread by the Yunus regime since it has come to power last year. Hopefully, better sense would prevail. On to the third and final segment.
I actually mean that. I don't like the name artificial anything, because it's not artificial, it's genius. It's pure genius.
Last week, I brought to you an aspect of artificial intelligence, its ideological position, and the impact this was having on geopolitics of the day. Trump had released America's first AI mission document and called for AI to be nationalist, not woke, not Marxist, confirming with his mega theme, Make America Great Again. This week, another aspect of AI made waves, if not directly in the headlines, then the force behind the headlines. In India, the information technology behemoth, TCS, or the Tata Consultancy Services, announced it was restructuring its workforce to reflect the new AI realities. TCS would retrench 2% of its mid-career level employees, or 12,000 engineers, as part of the exercise. There was a parallel headline in the same day newspapers of GCCs, Global Capacity Centers, hiring big time with double-digit growth in their businesses. GCCs are like back-end offices of multinational corporations, which were earlier clients of the likes of TCS and Infosys. Over a period of time, a couple of decades actually, they realized why pay these Indian IT companies if they could themselves set up their back-end offices in India, dipping into our IT talent pool. The result is for all to see. The TCSs and the Infosys and the HCL and other Indian IT companies are paying the price of not rising up the software food chain. The AI disruption has caught up with their complacence and is leading to this belated belt tightening. The concept itself is not new. Some of the early big tech companies of the United States, like the Texas Instruments, set up their own back offices in India way back in the 1990s. JP Morgan Chase, that set up its GCC in 2018 with about 20,000 workforce, now employs 55,000, roughly 1/10 of TCS. The trend has caught up big time, with the country now hosting about 1,600 of them with an annual turnover of $60 billion plus. A substantial part, if not all of this business, is what the TCS and Infosys and the HCL and others would have lauded over. That still does not mean the sector and other jobs in other professions are not under the AI cloud. This week also saw a release by Microsoft of a report on the impact of artificial intelligence on how employment is set to change going forward. Those among you watching, if you are a student or a lawyer or a painter or a teacher, this is useful information to arm yourself for the market at any level of your career. The Microsoft report lists 40 jobs that would face lesser prospects and 40 that would weather the impact and might be called AI-proof in terms of job security. Let's focus on the jobs that are set to lose their sheen first. And if you are in those professions, beware. The job of translators and interpreters tops the charts and is in the most danger of going extinct. If you want to know exactly how, take a look at this clip.
ये दोनों देशों में जो बातचीत होगी, ट्रेड होगी, जो बढ़ेगा.
Don't bother, we can use English words in between. Don't worry about it.
His Excellency, I've lost the speech.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Sorry, do you want me to repeat?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
I
I think we understand each other well. I mean,
Do you see how the translators struggled with words when Keir Starmer was speaking on India-UK FTA deal? With PM Modi by his side, AI would do the job easily and without that groping for words. You can effectively learn multiple languages as a hobby, but not to pick a profession. Historians come next as an endangered species, and why not? The copious data that AI can guzzle in a jiffy and regurgitate after rearranging, historians can't match that. Plus, they have ruined their reputations by letting their ideologies influence facts. For decades, or perhaps more than a century now, these eminent historians have not been able to give a reasonable evidence of the Aryan migration theory, for example. The debate remains hot. If you're going to write tomes justifying Aurangzeb as a pious, benevolent dictator, then you are sure losing your job in the world of AI. Writers, journalists, editors come next. In fact, there's a pattern. Those at the lower end of the value addition in the intellectual pyramid, data scientists, accounting clerks, web developers, market research analysts, they are all going to face redundancies. Now let's look at jobs that would survive this AI juggernaut. Godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, has said earlier that the only safe job in the world of AI, perhaps, is that of a plumber. I might have paraphrased it, but if you look at the Microsoft list, at the top are phlebotomists. Remember those in white coats who take your blood samples for tests at path labs. AI proves you can survive if you are a bloodsucker, rather literally. Nurses are not going out of job, as also doctors who are surgeons. Reports keep appearing that AI read scans way better than radiologists. This one is from just a week ago. A woman named Shreya shared her story on X, where she narrated how ChatGPT helped her zero down on an ailment her mother was facing, which 18 months of examination by multiple top doctors failed. The doctors went by ChatGPT advice, changed the prescription, and Shreya's mother is recovering. There are a dime a dozen such examples and stories on the internet from around the world of how AI is revolutionizing medical examination and treatment. The principle is same. With its massive data crunching ability, it's like consulting hundreds or thousands of doctors at one go, something not practically possible in the physical world for any patient. Puncture repairers, barbers, masons, truck drivers, and massage therapists, physiotherapists for that matter. So if you look at it, the AI-safe jobs are predominantly the blue-collar ones. AI's impact on all aspects of humanity is going to be all-encompassing. Jobs are only a sliver of that. And mind you, we are like in very early stages of the development of this tech tool. The real age of AI, called the Artificial General Intelligence, AGI, which is still a few years away, would make the present models like the ChatGPT and Gemini look like three rifles in front of a BrahMos missile. That's the comparison in terms of capacity and scale. So brace for it and be on top of the AI game. Thanks for watching.